I'm actually exhausted, you know. That was absolutely brilliant. That might have been one of the best FA Cup games that I have seen in years. Not necessarily performance, but genuinely, do you give a shit? Would you rather we play well, or would you rather that we're in the heart? Now, by the time you lot are watching this video, you're going to know who we get in the next round. I haven't got a clue as it stands right now. I am praying for Coventry, because I think United go down, we sweep Coventry aside. And that would be another final. Either way, it's another Wembley trip, right? So let's not get carried away. It's another Wembley trip for Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. Despite what formation that was, it was, I believe, the kitchen sink formation. You're talking Anthony playing left back, Bruno playing centre half. You're talking just find a way to win. And that was what we did today. We found a way to win. I'm so proud of the lads today. So proud of Marcus Rashford for managing to get us the equaliser. So proud of Ahmad for getting his first goal and his first red card as a Manchester United player. I am so proud of each and every single one of them. Not a single player didn't give 110% there today, because they had to. They had to absolutely graft. When we saw the Liverpool team, you're like, that's a fucking strong Liverpool team. And my instinct was, I actually tweeted something along these lines, Scott McTominay is going to have to do a hell of a shift today in midfield. And actually, I would say, as he got sort of halfway into the second half, you started to really see the lack of kind of shape and discipline from McTominay. And I think that was why we ended up seeing Mainu getting taken off, because Mainu was getting run ragged because he was marking both McAllister and fucking Slobsai. He was getting run ragged, sort of bouncing between the two and not really getting any sort of help. It was United was playing a sort of carbon copy of Liverpool's midfield, but without having someone tracking the runners. And I thought that was problematic. If you go back to, let's talk about the positives. Go back to the first half. United's press was absolutely top. Liverpool gave up possession so many times before getting over the halfway line, because United figured it out and they pressed them, and they pressed them well. The game kind of ran away from United just a little bit when Liverpool started to get a foot on the ball, and we stopped pressing as much, and we started to allow them to get out. And once they sort of get out, they get Van Dijk on the ball. He starts rocking those side-to-side passes. They sort of hold possession a little bit, and United fell off into this sort of low or mid-block and that. That was when the sort of game kind of ran away from United a little bit. While we was going for it, and if you notice, we kicked up into a gear at the end of the 90 minutes as well, and was pushing for it a little then. When United were doing that, we looked dangerous. We looked good. We seemed to defend better being on the front foot. We certainly attacked better being on the front foot. We was causing them all sorts of problems first half. Very much a game of two halves. First half, we was causing them all sorts of problems going down the left-hand side, and they could not live with us. And then in the second half, we allowed them to get into the game a little bit. They started getting possession, and you're thinking, this is a fucking mirror image of the City game. We take the lead, they get one back, they get a second, and before you know it, it's 3-1 and you're out of the cup. But that wasn't the case. And United continued to throw punches, which we did not do in the City game. We continued to create chances, and you're kind of thinking, those last 10 minutes of normal time, fucking hell, if Højlund had been on here, he probably would have got one or two of these chances that were flashing across the box. Diallo had an absolute 10 out of 10 performance. Mainu had an absolute 10 out of 10 performance. I thought Garnacho was getting frustrated being on the right-hand side, because United was clearly trying to attack down the left. But I don't think Garnacho was as effective against Gomez as Marcus was being against Gomez. Obviously, his time came, and he was still pretty fresh come the last minutes. Hence, he was able to get that breakaway. And I thought he might have held on to it too long before he plays Ahmad in. Ahmad obviously sticks it away. But Scott had other opportunities. Going forward, he is an absolute threat. Off the ball, he doesn't add enough to the midfield, I don't think, for me. But unbelievable scenes. What a performance. I thought, he's come away with 3 goals conceded today, but I thought Onana had a great game. I have no idea how many shots we conceded today. I genuinely couldn't care. I'm just absolutely buzzing with that. That was one of the best sort of endings to a game that I've been at in the longest time. It was absolutely fucking quality. I loved that. Loved it. My voice had gone. It started to come back a little bit. I'm almost lost for words. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And, oh man, we're going to Wembley again. Can't wait for that either. That's going to be absolutely class. It's going to be on a fucking Saturday, I bet, though, innit? Fuck. I mean, what else is there to say? Looks like those 2 misses that Marcus had was offside. I didn't think the first one was, but looking at the replays, maybe it was. He could have silenced the critics there and then for winning it for us right at the end of normal time, but he got his goal. I think it wasn't a vintage performance still from Marcus. He pressed, and he was still pressing in the 119th minute, and he deserves credit for that. If you're going to criticise him for not doing, you have to give him credit when he does do. But I also think that when he was getting the ball and his first instinct was to get at him, get into the box, get behind the defence, he looked like a problem. When he was trying to play off and look to sort of link play coming on the inside a little bit, didn't look as dangerous, looked a little bit predictable, and sometimes it was almost like the wrong decision to be taking the ball in the areas that he was. But when he was like running at him, and I thought he was causing Gomez a lot of problems, man. I don't know why they switched. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on anything fucking negative today because that can get in the fucking bin. I am absolutely buzzing with that. Who better to fucking beat than Liverpool to get yourselves to Wembley? Your fucking quad's gone. Your fucking treble's gone. Your fucking manager's gone. Up the fucking Reds. Laters.